Welcome back, y'all. This is the Bluechip Breakdown. I'm your host, Bull. Today, we're just going to be recapping this game. Us falling to Vanderbilt at Vandy. A couple of things that I definitely want to talk about. And I would love to hear y'all's thoughts. I know that there's probably a whole lot of frustration. The first thing that I will say with basketball, my whole mindset, y'all, it's so different from football season where when we lose a game, it's not the end of the world for me. It's not the end of the season. I still think that this team is really good. I mean, obviously, we're still going to make it to the tournament, but there are some things that I feel like we need to get fixed. We need to get it fixed pretty quickly. I don't know if it's still realistically possible that we're going to end up with a 1 seed. I mean, I don't know what the seeding is going to look like or any of that, but it's really all about how do we look heading into the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what matters more to me. I'm not even too concerned really with the seeding, but just because if your team is good heading into the tournament, then you're going to win games. Like that's just how I look at it. So I want to put that out there first. Let me see what some people are saying as we're coming in here. Oh my goodness. We're going to start off with this one right here from Boosted931 saying that Lanier is overrated. I disagree. I disagree with that thoroughly. He is in a little bit of a slump, but we will take a look at the stats. I don't think that he played horrible. Obviously he misses that final free throw that could have sent us to overtime, but the game shouldn't have got to that point. You know what I mean? We're way better than Vanderbilt. And as we pull up the first half stats, I'll kind of tell you how I was feeling heading into the second half. Let's get to the next one right here from Big Star saying, boys, I'm in Spain with the I'm in Spain with the S. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. I should have closed the game out. Had all of the momentum. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of momentum heading towards the end, down that home stretch. But at the same time, like I just said, it really never should have got to that point. You know what I mean? But you are exactly right. We should have won that game. From Boosted931 saying how he is blocked at the goal by a backup, then misses the tying free throw. He's bad lately. He's again, basketball is streaky, but I still think he's one of the best players in the SEC. He's one of the best players in the country, and he is going to bounce back. From Dramad Wynn saying Meshack is a deer looking at lights on offense. Yeah, he did a couple of things early on. Let me go ahead and just pull this up for y'all real quick. Let me go ahead and pull up these first half stats. But yeah, I would definitely say that Meshack is a player that he needs to show some more confidence scoring the ball. Okay. He's got to do that because we all know that he can shoot. All these guys can shoot. That's why they're on this team. Basketball, again, it's so weird. It's just a different sport compared to football. It's such a mindset. Like it's all about your psyche. Because if you can shoot when it's practice time and all that, why can't you do that in the games? I don't understand how the pressure can get to you that much where the stroke, the form, it's the same distance to the goal and all that type of stuff. If you got the open look, you got to have the confidence to take those shots. And it's not just with Shaq, it's with several other players. We passed up, I think, too many open looks, especially early on in this game. But this is the stat line, y'all, from the first half. This is how everything looked. We'll talk about our players first. So with Felix, he had 4 points. I think that Felix played well. One of the biggest issues in this game, as we go through this, y'all will see it wasn't really about the offense. It was more about our defense. Why can't we stop people from getting to the daggum basket? Why are we switching all the time? I'm not a big, hey, let's switch guy, unless you've got a team full of people who are all tall and who can all move. If you've got, true center types of bodies, if you've got true big men and you've got some undersized, smaller players that it's going to be a huge mismatch if you switch. You cannot switch. You've got to work through those screens and stuff. Tennessee didn't really, we didn't do a good job of that in this game. That was the real reason that we lost. But let's keep on going through. All right. So Igor in the first half, he had 7 points. ZZ, he had 6 points. He had I think a couple of nice threes. Let me see, how many threes did he have in the first half? Yeah, so he had 2, so he was 50% from 3, so he looked good there. Chaz, he only had 8, and Meshack, he had 2. That was the one shot that he took. I don't remember, was he driving there or was it a jump shot? I know that I was happy that he was shooting, but he passed up several open looks. Like they just sagged off of him so much. If teams are going to play him like that, he's got to show, hey, I'm going to shoot. And at this point, man, look, shoot until you find some confidence to do that consistently. We need that moving forward. Okay. That's where this team needs to start getting to is, hey, how are we going to look heading into tournament play? All right, let's keep on going. So Cade Phillips, I think that he always plays so well. He does a lot of nice things. He had a really nice pass to somebody. I don't know. I don't remember if that was to ZZ or who that was to. Really nice pass. It might have been Gainey. But just, he does a lot of really good things, offense and defense. But, he didn't score any points. And then Gainey, he had 5. And then Dubar, he had that 3. So that's about how we look. Let's see. How did the turnovers look? Man, we had 6 turnovers in the first half, and they were costly. They were just like careless turnovers. We got to stop doing that. I mean, we got to stop doing that. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to play careless basketball. I don't know how or why we get into these little funks, but Coach Barnes is big on you're going to play with maximum effort. You're not going to be careless. So I don't understand that. Those things really, really piss me off. All right. Let me pull this up and show y'all how the final stats look, so that I can just kind of highlight what my whole point is here. If you look at our offense, all right, so Felix, 16 points. Igor, 16 points. ZZ, 16 points. And then Chaz had 17. All right, and then if you look at Meshack, he only scored that, those 2 points from earlier in the game. He did take 4 shots. Now let's see what on the bench. So Cade Phillips did not score at all. I don't know why I thought that he scored some in this game, but Gainey only had, what is that, 5 points. Okay, I think I might have said before that he had 6 in the first half, but only 5 for the whole game. So he didn't score anything at all in the second half. We need more from him because he's not, he's that 6 man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to be a lot more consistent with his scoring. What did he shoot from the field? 1 of 6. With 34 minutes. I do not like how that looks at all. He did not play well offensively. I don't think that he played, great on defense either. And then Dubar only had that same 3. So, Boswell didn't score anything. How many minutes did Boswell play? So he only had 2 minutes. That was earlier in the game whenever we kept on putting Chaz out because, Chaz wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. And this is not just about Chaz Lanier. So I don't want to just pick on him. But he's got to stop being – I think it's just his personality. Y'all, where he's very laid back. He's gotta take better care of the basketball. He's got to play with a higher sense of urgency on offense and defense. Didn't look great on defense. Again, us switching a lot, that was a problem. Like we just didn't handle them driving on us. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at Vandy's stats, what they only had looks like 3 players over double digits. So Tyler Nickel, number 5, for some reason we just would not guard him. Let's leave him wide open and let him keep on draining threes on us. I don't know how or why that happens. I think it's just because they kept driving so much. So we've got too many people collapsing in the paint. You've got to do your job. You've got to do your job. You can't have people just completely uncovered. You cannot do that when they can shoot. So he goes 50%. He goes 4 of 7 from 3-point. Okay, and I'm gonna go through a couple other players for Vandy, and obviously y'all I'm sure can see the difference in what we did as teams. We looked like we did more than they did as a team. We should have won this ball game, but you have to close out, you have to finish. So next player, Jason Edwards, he had 18 points. A whole lot of obviously, he did hit some critical threes. They went on a nice little run there where it felt like it was 3 or 4 threes just back to back to back because we weren't doing a good job playing defense, closing out. But a lot of that, man, was just off of that freaking, that pick and roll. And then we're switching. And, he would either score on a big man or score because we're slow to switch or, you know what I'm saying? Score because we're just not playing good, sound, fundamental defense, or we've got a gigantic mismatch with their bigs down in the paint. I don't know why we kept switching, but that's something that I felt like could have been changed at halftime. All right, let's keep on going. So the last player that I'll talk about is going to be AJ Hoggard, and he's one of their big men. He's one of the guys that just kept on scoring whenever we're switching. So that was pretty much, to me, that was the biggest thing in this game. That was an issue. But if you look at the shooting percentage, so Tennessee was 48% from the field, and Vandy was 46.4% from the field. From 3, Tennessee was almost 48%, and Vandy was at 38%. So almost a 10% difference in us hitting those threes. So I think that says a lot. Now, from the free throw line, they were at 84%. We were at 81%. And that's really not, I mean, we actually made more free throws than they did, and we took more free throws than they did too. So, I just, again, I think that the biggest thing here was from a lack of playing good, sound, fundamental defense. So that's who I'm putting this game on, is just not playing good defense. It's something else that I did also want to talk about here. How many minutes is ZZ? All right, so ZZ got back up to 33 minutes. It looked like he was back on pace to get closer to like 30. We talked about that. Over the course of the season, we got to take away minutes from ZZ because it feels like he's playing better. He's shooting better when he's not playing as many minutes because he's more fresh. But he does have to take better care of the basketball. So, we couldn't really stick to that. It doesn't feel like we trust Boswell too much. We don't really give him opportunities to shoot or opportunities to do much of anything. I think he had one nice assist to Chaz. I don't remember if that was him or if that was Gainey. But either way, we've got to find a way to distribute the minutes a little bit better, keep people rested, because like I'm going to keep on saying, this is a long season, very, very long season. All right, so let me see what everyone's saying here inside of the chat. Okay, where do we leave off at? So I think right here from Boosted 931 saying that Ziegler and Akpara, even Igor, have been playing great, and Lanier is regressing right now. Hope he gets it back. Yeah, it's again, and it's a very streaky game. And I know that Chaz he's gonna find his groove. He's gonna get back to scoring. What I'm more concerned about, y'all, is can other people score around him? That's what we just talked about. I mean, we're seeing other people are able to score. I still feel like Shaq's got to be a lot more consistent. I can't even say that he needs to be more consistent. He needs to be a threat to score. Can you give us at least 5 every game? Or it'd be great if he could give us 8. If he give us 8 every game and everyone else just does what they do, I think that we will be fine. Gainey is the one who I think needs to find more consistency, because he'll have great games and then he'll have a game like today where he's not hitting nothing. Boosted 931 also saying, okay, so he's talking to yeah, Meshack, again, man, he's got to find ways to score. From Boosted 931. And we talk about why Dubar is on the bench and been shooting so much better than Lanier lately. Yeah, so I would like to see Dubar get some more burn. I would like to see him get some more opportunities, because it does seem like he's finding his groove. At this point, our most important thing for this team, get everybody up to speed. Let's get ready for the freaking tournament. Obviously, we have to make it there and we have to win games. But if we can just get our team to a spot where everyone's playing with confidence, where people are taking open shots, where we're playing consistent defense, okay, and we're not having lapses, we're not playing lackadaisical, turning the basketball over and stuff. Once we get to that point, we won't have to worry about losing these types of games to Vanderbilt. And you know what I'm saying? Well, I think we can beat anybody. Tennessee plays how we're supposed to, how we're capable of. I think we can beat anybody. I'm not scared of nobody. I think we got Auburn later on in the season. I think we only play them once. I'm not scared of Auburn. I think that we can beat Auburn. So everything will play itself out. That's just how I'm looking at it. But we've got to, the confidence level has got to get there. From William saying Vandy's tough. Yeah, they played very well today. You know what I'm saying? I think that they had a really good game plan. I could say maybe we got out coached. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But really, it's hard to say that because a lot of the lapses that we saw from our defense, I mean, defense is all about effort. It was a lot of lack of effort. Obviously, we picked it up down that home stretch, which is great. I mean, you love the fight of this team. We had every reason to win. Yet, that play that Coach Barnes drew up for Chaz. That's one that he's. I mean, dude, dunk the ball, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to lay it up and stuff. Go dunk that. Like you have all the room to go dunk it or draw a foul. The dude's right on your hip. Get the foul there, okay? Or even if you dunk it, I think that you might have got fouled there too. Can't be going up soft in the city. I mean, don't like. I don't like none of that stuff, man. Punch that one in, and then obviously, yeah, he does have to be more clutch. I mean, if you shooting free throws, man. Free throws, you got to be able to hit those every single time. We need him to hit those. But we didn't lose this game because of Chaz. We lost this game way before Chaz. I think we lost this game in the first half. Really, you know what I'm saying? It's not just one play that makes or breaks games. All right, so from Matt SS saying lost the momentum from the first 2 points. Yeah, man. We gotta. It's always going to be ebbs and flows with basketball. And, I told y'all that I would say how I felt coming out of the first half. I was like, man, shoot, we're going to probably end up winning this game by like 20 or 30 points. That's how I felt. It's like, look, we're gonna start to put those clamps on. The effort's gonna come back, and we're not gonna let them keep on driving. We're gonna make them shoot. And I felt like we would be able to do what we wanted to, basically, or for the most part, on offense. It didn't really get to that point until very, very late in that game. From boosted 9-3-1, I hit our defense. It always leaves a guy open. Vandy missed a lot of open shots too. If Lanier hadn't got blocked, we would have won. Yeah, I think that those are excellent points. And I don't. It's not our defensive scheme that's leaving people open. It's the lack of effort. Like, you got to close out. You got to close out on shooters. You have to, like, you can't just get lost. We get lost a little bit too often. It's just like mental lapses. Cannot have that anymore. From Matt SS saying, Chaz, damn it. All right, so let me get to this one from Matt SS as well. Saying, Bull, you're really pissed off. You're really pissed off. Don't match mine, unfortunately. LOL. Yeah. So I can't say that I'm really pissed off with this loss. I mean, I'm upset. I'm mad that we lost, but it's not the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's we still have plenty of time to get everything fixed. I think everything that this team wants to do, for the most part, is probably still there. We're gonna, we might need some help from teams like Auburn. I think Alabama, we need to see them lose, obviously, but I think that we can still get to where we want to get to. For me, the ultimate thing is about making it to the Final Four and hopefully winning the national championship. Can this team still do that? I mean, after this loss, you might not feel like it. After we lost to Florida, we got drugged by Florida. You might not feel like it. But if we put it all together the correct way, I think that we can do it. I really do. So from Gary, I cannot pronounce your last name, but saying that Barnes sucks. No, Barnes does not suck. I disagree with that thoroughly. We're going to be fine. From Boosted 931, Gary Barnes. Oh, man. All right. So from Matt SS saying Barnes called a bad game. Agreed. Barnes is my man. Yeah, I don't think that this was his best game. And there were some times, too, where we were playing small. Well, I don't think that we needed to play small. We just could have, stuck with our regular guys out there. It kind of felt like once we started, kind of started to shift. I don't know why he did that. I don't know if he was trying to match what they were doing, match bodies with bodies. You know what I'm saying? Size with size, speed with speed. But you have to see that that's not working, which, it felt like he did. But, I think that didn't get us off to a very good start. And maybe we're a little bit overconfident in this game, y'all. Maybe we came into it, even talking about Coach Barnes. Maybe he felt like, well, this is a game that we can try some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can try some stuff and we should still be able to find a way to win. We almost did, but we can't have mistakes like that anymore. Just can't. From Matt SS saying that Zeke played how many minutes in the first half? Not enough. Yeah, so that's kind of back to my point. That it felt like we were trying some stuff. It felt like we wanted to get Boswell in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in quick, but he does come in. We're trying to get ZZ rested up, which I totally get. But you have to make sure that you can win first. And the reason I'm going to keep on saying this too, the reason I think that we did not win was from our defensive effort. Wasn't so much with the offense. But I will also say this too. We got to find a way to get to the basket a lot more consistently. It's too much of like having to take jump shots. It's too much of that. We need a threat. Somebody's got to be a threat to get to the basket. Now, obviously, ZZ does it. But who else is going to do it? Ganny does it every now and then. Chaz does it every now and then. But who's going to be consistent with it? I think that D Stone's a player that you should expect should be able to do things like that. We need that. We need a whole lot more of that presence. That's one of the things that I've noticed just in looking at some of these other teams that are better teams that we know are going to be, deep tournament run source of teams. They have players that can consistently put the ball on the floor and get to the got to start doing more of that. And I think that's why our offense, especially in the first half of these last few games, has looked so stagnant because we're not able to drive. You know what I'm saying? And also, obviously, the shooting hasn't been great, but I think that some of the players have really picked it up for sure. All right, let me see what else we got right here. From Steve Jesse saying, wow, y'all. And saying, so Diaz. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. So he's saying He's so dissatisfied. Yeah, I feel you. All right, right here from G White 713 saying, we just got to keep up the pressure all game long. Fall asleep a little in the first half, but man, ZZ did enough to win the game in clutch. Yeah, ZZ's always he's coming through in the clutch, and we could maybe even ask this question here, y'all. Do y'all think maybe he should be the one that takes those final shots? Because over the past few games, it has been Chaz. When do we start to give ZZ those opportunities? And is that the right thing to do? Because yeah, he is a dog and he's going to find ways to make plays happen. But at the same time, I think that because he is shorter, I mean, it's a little bit easier, or I would say it this way: it's more difficult for him to get those, especially jump shots off. You know what I mean? Even driving to the basket, if he can't straight up beat a guy with his speed, it's tough because they've got the length over him. Can he get the foul? Maybe, but I'm just saying, I've seen that kind of floating around that maybe ZZ should be taking those last shots. I think that we shouldn't even get to the point where we have to take the last shots, but I do still think that you've got to put the ball in your best player's hands in those situations, and I still think that that is Chaz. But that's just my thoughts. From G White saying that our big men are doing great. AR, okay, so AR has the Adu curse going. Winless in the SEC, not an aggressive down low or up high guy, will learn from this loss. Yeah. So I think that there's several things. Well, obviously, first off, I do think that our big men are playing. I think they are playing well. I think that maybe we could be a little bit more consistent with getting rebounds. Okay, especially on offense. I think that we'd be more consistent there. I think that we can find maybe a little bit better effort there, not even just from the bigs, but also maybe from our guards. Now, we got more rebounds, I believe, in this game than Vanderbilt did. Let me pull that back up. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me see where we at with the rebounds. So we had 25. Okay, no, so they had 4 more rebounds than we did in this game. So that's not horrible. I still think that we can find ways to close out and continue to play with better effort. Let me get to this one right here from Tim Dewberry saying they lost the game at tip off. That, I mean, shoot, I think that once we switched and started to try to play small, I think that's when the game pretty much took that turn. John Camp saying would have had it in overtime. Like the Vandy freshman guard, we could use him next year. Really missed Waka in games like these. Yeah, it's always good to have some just straight up dogs down low. I think Felix, I think that he played well though. From Jamal Wynn saying, also, you think Dubar should start? I don't think he should start. I'm not saying he should start. Definitely not saying that. I don't think he should start by any means. But I do think that maybe he could get some more opportunities. I think that we can maybe set up some plays for him, get him some confidence before we get into the tournament. I think that that's critical. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a guy that he could be one of the players that can consistently drive for us because he's a bigger body. He needs to be able to, kind of like flex his muscles some with his game. I think that it complements the other players' games, and it would really help us out in situations when Chaz is off. That's my biggest thing is whenever Chaz is having an off night, which I think he's averaging like 20 points per game. So he scored less than his average tonight, but and it might even be more than that. But we need people who can consistently step up whenever Chaz is off. That's what I'm more concerned with. And that's why I think that Dubar needs to get some more touches and he needs to get some more shots. From Steve Jesse saying, pisses me off losing. Man, look, anytime that you lose, I think especially losing to Vandy, at Vandy, you're hearing their fans chanting and stuff. They, rush to storm the court. That always pisses you off. But we're going to blow them out the next time that we see them. So from Addis saying our best player is officially Zeke. I mean, right now, I think that ZZ is our best player, but I can't say because, man, look, Chazle, he's had a couple of off nights with 17 points being an off night for you. That should let you know. I mean, this was an off night for Chaz. He still dropped more points than ZZ did. Now, I get it. It's not just about points, but I think that says a lot about how good Chaz Lanier actually is. But, I would not be surprised if the next 3 to 4 games he drops 25 plus points. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, he's the next DK and all of that, So players go through their slumps, they're going to go through highs and lows and all that good stuff. But we're going to be straight. So from Matt SS saying, love Cade also, he's got that dog. Yeah, so look, man, Phillips is one of my favorite players for sure. And I don't know how much, longer he's going to be with us, but he is he stepped up in such a major way. I was not expecting him to be nearly as good as he is on a consistent basis. He might be maybe our most consistent overall player. I mean, he brings pretty much the same game every single night or every single day, whatever. So I love his consistency. I love his grit. You can tell that he's a former football player. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell he's got that real dog to him. From Maria Moore saying Milicic. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Igor, yeah, I think that he does some nice things. I mean, he kind of bothers me sometimes. I think he's gotten so much better. You can tell he's gotten a lot more confident and comfortable since the start of the season. But I like that he can shoot. I like that he can stretch the floor. I would love him to work on his handles because he's another one that in certain situations you would think, hey man, if you could put the ball on the floor and drive to the basket just a little bit, that would create a lot more shots. So just little things I think for the team that we can kind of pick up on. And that could make us be way, way, way better for tournament play. So for my dog J Pat 86 saying GBO, FUGA 100%. Love it, love it. Always love to see that. Always love to hear that. And obviously, man, look, we did just beat Georgia. So I know that doesn't matter too much today, but that was a good win. So that's what back-to-back road games. I think we played Georgia on the road, but either way, we're gonna be fine. So last one right here from Matt SS saying, I'm just glad I can talk with all my Vol fanatics. Y'all talking me off the edge, LOL. 100%. So I'm happy to hear that. But yeah, we're gonna be good, y'all. Basketball is one of those games. It's not like football. It's not the end of the world if we lose a couple of ball games. It's just more about how are we losing and what are we going to do moving forward to fix it. I think that everything that we saw today was very fixable. It's very rare that a Rick Barnes coach team loses because of defense. That's just my thoughts on it. I think that the defense let the offense down. You know what I'm saying? I think that the defense let the team down. But that's something that should be, lock solid moving forward. And I like the fact that the offense, we're seeing other people scoring. Little things. Let's take care of the basketball. Let's not be lackadaisical. Let's try to get everybody going. And let's shoot the open shots. You know what I'm saying? Let's everybody fight for the rebounds all the time. Let's get back to that, and hopefully we can rotate in more players. So it's not a sprint. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. And I hope that y'all do enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday night. I'm gonna go watch the rest of these these playoff football games and start gearing up for I guess everything that we'll be talking about tomorrow. But thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace.